Alright, muri yeZimbabwe kusangana kwatiri kuita zvakare ipo pano pazimunyuzi update apo patinode kupa mafirst hand update anonga ari kuitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. So kana uri mutsva usabve pano usina kusubscribe, kulike nekusheya. Sekuzva kwatiri kuita nezuro hazvi kutondiremera kuti nezuro because i1 o'clock 1 pm pendiri kurekoda sort of like update iri zviri kundiremera kuti nezuro, but tongoti nezuro ranga riri birthday ra Vice President Chiwenga apo patakaona pavakaramba microphone kubva kuna President Emerson Mnangagwa mu Central Committee board. Tiri kuona kuti vanhu vanga vari kuimba kuti happy birthday to you. So tiri kuona kumahofisi kwavo muri yeZimbabwe, ndofunga tiri kuona naJoshua Ngoma na President Emerson Mnangagwa kumahofisi kwavo ekuMonomutapa kwavakashevedzerwa, kwavakaunzirwa cake muri yeZimbabwe, vakaunzirwa cake, but according to military intelligence na comrade Soko vari kutaura kuti keke iroro havana kuridya, keke iroro havana kuridya because Vice President Chiwenga havasina munhu wachatrust, because ndichakuendesai kuna mapictures ekuCentral Committee muone kuti vanhu vese vange nemvura dzavo, but ivo vauya nezvigubhu zvavo zveblack muri yeZimbabwe. So tira kuti tiwerengetese panapa tione kuti zvakamira sei. Tiri kuzitora kubepa naure Herald. Vice President Dr. Chiwenga marvels at a picture book prepared by his office to mark his 70 years birthday. The book captures key moments. A permanent secretary in his office, Mrs. Masia Nyanda, takes him through it, where his chief of staff, Major General Gray Mashawa, left, and personal assistant Brigadier General Tendai Makavi second from left. Trikuona panapa muri yeZimbabwe, look on vanhu vese vari kutaura avarapa muri yeZimbabwe, but VP Chiwenga havasina munhu wavachatrasta muri yeZimbabwe. Regedzei ndikuratidzei kuti VP Chiwenga havasina munhu wavachatrasta. Tiri kudzitora kunhaure kubepa nhaure The Herald. Tira kuti tidzike panapa ndinyatsokuratidze kuti VP Chiwenga kana achitaura kuti havasina munhu wachatrastaka ichokwadi muri yeZimbabwe, because tiri kuona kuti vanhu vazhinji mukati momo tiri kuya panapa, ndope tiri kuda panapa. Ndofunga tiri kuona muri yeZimbabwe zviri kuitika panapa. Apa ungori muCentral Committee, ndofunga muri kuona kumadziro ku is 2 July 2026 Central Committee. Tiri kuona opa muchinguru yarapo mvura yake irapa iyi imvura dzekupiwa dzedzedzi ya Vice President Chiwenga irapa, but havaimwe vakufamba nezvigaba zvavo zveblack zviri izvi. Ndofunga muri kuzviona zvimaflask kana kuti zvimachi. Tichienda panapa muri yeZimbabwe tichidai so ndofunga rapa zvanyatsa kubuda manje. Apa ndofunga muri kuzviona izvi zvimagaba zviri apa ndozva vakufamba nazvo izvi muri yeZimbabwe. Then tochienda kunoku ndofunga muri kuona mamembers ese aya imvura dzese dzekurunika muna muchipiwa nechikafu nechichi chimwe machikenini muri kuona akazara pamatables apa. Ndofunga muri kuona machikenini but ana Vice President Chiwenga havachadya zvinhu zvakafanana izvi muri yeZimbabwe. Ana Sanyatwe, ana General Rugeje havachadya zvinhu zvakafanana izvi because vatori parumana nzombe zvokuti dai vakakuita majiri aya kungodya idya ndingodidi it's 2 minutes 1 month yakatokurisa unenge wadini unenge varowa pasi muri yeZimbabwe. So ndo mambiri rakaita nhava dzetinadzo pano. Tira kuti timonzwe crisis iri kuitika kunyika yeSouth Africa uko, sort of like vanhu vari kuda kunzi vauye. Tiri kuona kuti government haisi kunyatsa kutora matanho chaivo ainyatsa kutarisirwa, but tiri kuona kuti zvinhu zvinomira zvakanaka. So rekedzai tione kuti zvakamira sei. Apa tiri kuona happy birthday principal, mharidzo yenyu nenyaya yaRazaro yatekeshera mune influence yekumberi mukuru ndimi topic mazuva ano. Tiri kuona ndiIsaac Makomichi ari kutaura zvaari kutaura pano. Rekedzai tikuendesei kunhauwa dziri kuitika kuti government iri kumbofeila papi nenhauwa dzevanhu vari kunyika yeSouth Africa uko nevamwe vari paBeit Bridge apo. Tiri kuona kuti tungwarara yakatora kuti tiri kukwidza vanhu vekumaNicaland chete yakutonga sort of like yato tribe yatorusarira ganda chimwe ungati tiri kukwidza vanhu vekumaNicaland kana kuti angada kunotokwira nechitupa chaicho chekuti because chitupa kadochina chakukuratidza kuti ndo vekumaNicaland zveshuwa uyu. Rekedzai tizwe panapa tizwe kuti zvakamira sei panapa.
Right, ndinotenda baba, thank you very much. Tezvara venyu vamhono wamvura, but ndinotenda and I appreciate you. Right, guys, I want to go with the people, that have spoken, and then, because we want to finish this in the next, probably, in the next 1.25 hours. So I'm looking at, I thought it was 10, but I'm looking at 11. So what I want to do is I'll go to people that have spoken. I don't know whether, there was a lineup. Kuti angari kuuya ndouyu, angari kuuya ndouyu, angari kuuya ndouyu. But I did not hear Geshem speak. I did not hear Kudziwell speak, Nino and Sabuk Dobbs. I don't know, Shepard, have you spoken? Shepard, have you spoken?
Not yet. I'm waiting for
my turn. Okay, I added you, so I want you to take the mic. Geshem, you come through. Kudziwells, you're going to follow. Nino, you're going to follow. And Sabuk Dobbs, you're going to follow because I added you last. So if I can have Mkoma Shepard, Geshem, Kudziwells, Nino, and Sabuk Dobbs. Let us go with that order. I hope he'll take us to 11. And then before that, I'll give my closing monologue. But for now, let us go with that order. Shepard, please take the mic.
Thanks, Ango Jades, and thanks everyone who is on the platform. The causes behind the crisis, I think almost everyone knows, and the effects, the crisis, we are actually seeing it. And I need to draw much on the lessons. Looking at the March and March, I walk back through to this is how we should try, if ever we're trying to organize something, maybe to resist government policy, or the government is neglecting to do something. We need to learn from these people. Havana kumirira kuti pawe ma-politicians very popular like vana Malemas and those other guys in South Africa who are said to, who are called leaders to lead this. It was a process that policies affects everyone. So that's lesson number one. We should not wait for leaders. Maybe Pamogato compromise wakar and it all they're giving up. Number two, whenever we are trying to protest, a peaceful protest, and that it is peaceful, like what the South Africans are saying, that we're having a peaceful protest, but even though it is one pakazoita death, pakazoita looting, pakazoita vandalism of shops, and a lot of things happened. So they're not associated with the word peaceful, but ideally, they were saying it's peaceful. So we mustn't be afraid when we need to do a peaceful demonstration of the repercussions. Also, we're after a demonstration, and we should not confine our demonstration per Market Square only, like we used to see. Kuna demonstration, tango mayam town ungana pa Market Square, then it's over. When we want to have an impact, we must organize the whole nation. Mashingo, Blawayo, Beitbridge, Victoria Falls, Harare, so that the politicians will understand the message. So whenever we feel like we need to do peaceful demonstrations, let's try and make sure everyone in the nation is involved, so that it becomes a national thing. Then the other thing that I have learned is the participation. I listened recently, VP Chiwenga was saying the other day, I was giving an example, Bible, Lazarus, Agafa, then Jesus said this, and he emphasized the point of participation, that whenever there is a need for us to participate, like whenever the politicians are calling for protest, those who feel or those who think in the same line as those politicians, we must not participate in a way on social media. We must also try and participate, so that whatever want to change, and don't wait for somebody to do it for you. Everyone has a role to play. The last point that I want to say is pane unit, and where there is unit panoita maresults. And ndakazoona nemachi and machi kuti ma-South Africans were determined, and chinhu chavo vakachitanga for nguva yakareba, vakazoitawo musi wa30 June, but everyone, that's why even the foreigners vazhinji vachaona kuresista vakamove out, vakatoona these people, they're very serious. And then the biggest lesson that I've learned is most of our people, like Zimbabweans for example, vakagara South Africa vachishandisa yavanoti SEP permit. Legally that thing is not achina waningati takuisa pa legal scale achina weight, and it ZEP permit yanga isingafana kutipa that comfort yekufunga kuti we can stay in South Africa forever. ZEP permit yangofanana ngapa example yekuti inonzi Cape 3 iri kuitwa neZanu Pf at the moment, yangofanana ZEP permit. It's short, it's something that will not last forever. It's something that you should be prepared with one day collapse. So let's not find comfort zvinhu zviri zvatotoziva kuti hazvina mass behind it, hazvina vanhu behind it, and zvine pazvinotopera. Seipapa paZanu Pf must learn a lesson kuti ZEP permit and Cape 3 zvinhu zvakatongofanana. One day ine mapera echaita inogona zvinorwadza zvinosiya umwe vanhu vari disadvantage, like zvakuitika now. We have seen the effects of ZEP permits and zvazvazozvitiitira manje, like everyone, it's becoming a crisis, international crisis, we need sympathy from everyone. But from the beginning, we know that the requirements that are needed for someone to work in a foreign country, but you need to have all these papers. We do not follow that process. So that's the last lesson that I learned. Whenever you're doing something, make sure that you abide by the laws of the land.
Right, Kudziwas?
Hello, Ngoma Jedza. How are you? Hello, everyone.
I'm good, my brother. How you doing?
Hey, man. I'm in pain, man, because my people are suffering and we don't seem to have any solution. So, yeah, that's really painful to see your fellow countrymen and women suffering the way they are suffering. And only because of Zanu Pf and us as well. We are the part of the reason why Zanu Pf is doing what it's doing to us. And I think it's time we reorganize ourselves and do something special for ourselves, because we are own liberators, we are on our own. That is very important to know, that we are on our own as citizens. This fight is for us, because as we can see right now, those people we trust to represent us, they have not forgotten to represent themselves first. So they are putting their needs first before ours. So that's a lesson to us, that we should know that we are on our own, and we should be geared to fight for a change. It might not come today, it might not come tomorrow, it might not come next week, but we need to have that mentality that as long as we leave these things the way they are, they can only get worse. As we can see with CAB 3, as we can see with our fellow citizens being deported, maybe, like Lou was saying, that it could be just a starting point. South Africa could be the beginning point. Other countries might follow suit and deport us back to our own home country. And the onus is on us to really make sure that if that is ever to happen, we should be ready. We should be ready for that, and we should be ready that we have created the Zimbabwe that we want to live in. I think the lesson I've also learned from watching Watch, because I've been following these people for a while, Before there were other people that resigned, and then came on board Jangsita, the daughter of Zuma, and these other guys, and the way they've done things. I think I'm not trying to blame the mechanism, but these guys were well funded. They didn't manage to do whatever they've been managing to do without funding, like that the speaker I've already alluded to. There was funding, there was political support. If people think politicians didn't participate in this one, they are wrong. If you watch this speech by Zuma, it tells you, if you look at the background of his daughter as well, that she's been doing this while still working for MK Party. It tells us a story that this had political support. If you see the way the police were handling the demonstrators, again, you can tell that this thing was not just a mere match and match thing. Everyone was involved in it up to where we are now. And yesterday, the speech by Siso Ramaphosa tells you that the government was okay with whatever these people were doing, or they're still doing. So what am I saying? I'm trying to say that it just shows that South Africans, they know what they want as a nation, and they're able to gather behind one goal that they all desire to fruiten. I think this is what we are lacking in Zimbabwe. At the moment in Zimbabwe, we have people who are so centered on, gaining their wealthy, whichever way, whether it's by praising the people who are abusing us, or by getting trinkets, or by getting some favors to do whatever they want to do. For example, I want to mention and provoke this one person. For example, Padari is one person who is singing for his next project. So we this is where we are as a people. We are so much divided and polarized. People are focused on what they want with their lives, other than a Zimbabwe that everyone can enjoy and prosper. That's what we are lacking as a country. I'm saying that we need to, as a nation, to gather together and be able to define a country that is livable by everyone, where those people with ambition can see their ambitions come true, where people without a job can find a job, where people with disability are able to be looked after with a welfare that works. As long as we are divided as the way we are, when we have people who are thinking about, I want to get a stand, if I don't vote for Cab 3, I won't get a stand and I won't be able to stay in parliament for 7 years, we won't be able to achieve anything that is good for the country. Individuals can achieve certain things, they can go out there and do amazingly. But the rest of us, we are on our own. This is what I'm saying, that we need to realize that we are on our own. And also, I think we also need to be a bit quicker. I think where we are now, especially with this match and match results, it goes to show us that as Zimbabweans, we are too relaxed. We are really focused on maybe being better than the next person. We are too relaxed to fight for what is a good nation, a good country. We are too relaxed. Maybe we don't know what it takes. Because how does it work in a country with very educated people like Zimbabweans? That people monitor pambirwa sewage matepe munodzimirwa magetsi all the time. How does that work in a country that is educated people? It only goes to say that as a people, we are still very self-centered and very competitive. We want to be better than the other. South Africa. There's someone you see, this is what the mentality that we need to get rid of. We need to work together as a country. Like other countries, we are in other countries, we can see how people achieve to get stability in their countries, to get services that works. Is because all together they speak and they expect the same thing. They expect good. They don't expect anything. They don't get comfortable with substandards. Whereas in our country, we get comfortable with substandards. We get comfortable with the corruption. We get comfortable nezvinhu zvisingagarisike nazvo. I think this is where the decay starts. This is where it begins. As long as we do not know what we are worth in life, as long as we don't know what we should expect and the demand from our government, then the government will do whatever it wants with us. We have now rulers in our country instead of leaders. It's because we've tolerated it from the days of Mugabe. From the days of Mugabe up to where we are now, things have been getting worse on our watch. And this is the reason being that we are not able to stand up and demand the rightful things, demand a life that is worthy of a human being. We are comfortable upenyu huri kuwedzera nenguruve. Ndozvinonetsa mukati meupenyu hwedu. We need to learn that education yedu, as long as isingatifundise izvozvo, I think we got a challenge. I think that's why I've got to say today, we need to wake up. We need to really start mobilizing ourselves. It might take a bit of time, but we need to be working on something to liberate ourselves again. We have to be careful that the system we are fighting now is a combined system, because they are now working with white people. So if we are expecting for someone to empathize with us, we might be in the wrong. We need to start thinking about what we think is a good life for us. And I'm sure living in other people's countries is not a good choice. We need, no matter what citizens, passport we need to build our own Zimbabwe. We need to protect it. There's a lot that's in the wrong that's happening in our own mother country. We need to fight it from where we are whilst we can. Fight it, start our own country, and make it a livable country that you can go back home and live a life, go back home and retire in your own country, not kufira munyika dzevamwe vanhu. Hatidi kuita sana Mugabe wakazonofira munyika dzevamwe vanhu vanotadza kuaka hospital inomuchengeta iye pachake. That's not the people we want to be. We want to be people who do things, who act on the wrongs, correct them, and not be afraid to lose blood. So sometimes blood can be spilled because of a revolution. We need to dedicate ourselves financially, physically, and mentally to fight this system. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much. I do appreciate. Nino, do you want to come through? Nino? Right. Nino, are you there? Okay. Sabugdobs.
Yeah, many things. I think we learn a lot from Much and Much. But one thing which I have learned, I think a lot of issues have been deliberated by others. But one thing I have learned, whatever problem which comes to us, it's very difficult for us to unite as Zimbabweans. We then want just to undermine whatever effort which happens. Because even those few people who were attempting to help, they were not appreciated, but they were just degraded by others, because we have people who just love just putting each other down. I also experienced it, though it did not affect me a lot, because I was doing during March and March, even I knew about this date before, but I've shared it with a number of friends on both WhatsApp and Facebook. And what we have realized is that people were allowed to move from South Africa, whether they were illegal in South Africa. They were allowed to live with their goods as returning residents. And I capitalized on that because I wanted the majority of the people to be self-sufficient rather than to be captured by Zanu Pf, especially the ones which were on my team, which I used to demonstrate with. do other projects with. I did not want them to be captured by Zanu Pf. But for us to market that program to others, I need to tell you about it was crashed. Besides that, to say it's there as an SI in our laws, but it was being crashed. And people know how to crash it. A good example is the GD Travel. He owns a travel agent, then he tells to say this doesn't exist, it's nonsense. And it will aid, people will not follow it because it has got a lot of procedures. We are illegal, but we are allowed. We are treated the same as somebody who was working there having a work permit. But I managed to rescue some, but I've learned a lot. But after I listened to this program today, I also discovered I learned a lot. To say people are fearing, and I have that fear as well, because there's some of my kids have been chased away from South Africa. They are now with me in the village. Those were illegal. I have to tell you, and I've been going to South Africa with the other route because I just live next door to it, and I know all the routes which can go regardless of season. But I still have other kids again who are illegal in Mozambique, and some who have left. So we still feel the same. But what I understand from this platform is that we are not prepared to cope much and much in one way or the other. I don't mean that we have to match. But if you look at our laws again in Zimbabwe, right now, we are the ones who are allowed to do gold panning, but the Chinese are everywhere. We are not complaining. They've been banned. Apart from that, they've been told to sell shares to shareholders. I can't buy, I don't have money. But the majority of the people here, they might afford it. This year, every mining company, which is the foreign owned and doing those business like gold mining, quarry mining, they are supposed to shed 25%. But people are not talking about it, or inquiring about it, or saying that we are going to force them to sell those shares 25% this year, and the other 25% next year. Those who doubt me, check with the statutory instrument 215 of 2025. It's there in black and white. People are not talking about it to say we are going to take all the businesses. There are a lot of businesses which are supposed to be open by us Zimbabweans, but the Chinese and the Indians are still occupying them. And they are still getting those licenses to do so. And we are just quiet. We just complain here and there, they leave them like that. Maybe we need to copy. To say, okay, all the mine, all the gold panning be done by the Chinese, which use heavy machinery. And even demand to say also want to be involved in the lithium, not just the gold. Those are some of the things which I have observed. There are also other issues. So we are talking about those who live in Europe or America or anywhere else. There is also a problem where there are some things which are free at the moment, but we are not capitalizing on it. Maybe it will capitalize on it and have that little capital. Without finance, we won't be able to remove Zanu Pf. And Zanu Pf have learned that tactic of denying opposition finance. That is why the funding under political finance is going to Zanu Pf instead of opposition. Chawanga is just taking it and do whatever he needs with it. And the opposition, the real people who oppose Zanu Pf are not getting that political finance. So if we are poor as well in Zimbabwe, we won't be able, or if we are just woke up each and every day struggling to get anything to feed ourselves, we won't be able to confront Zanu Pf. That weakness, Zanu Pf have identified to say each and every time, each and every day we need to hustle so that we can just put food on the table. That is one thing which we need to address as well. And the only thing to address it is to use those laws which were put by Zanu Pf government to empower ourselves. Let me just end up here for the sake of time. Thanks a lot.
Right. Thank you very much. I do appreciate. Africa.